Hi, so I wanted to make a quick video talking about how I planned out my WGU accounting degree studying so I could finish in one term. The first thing I did was after I got back my degree plan review. So, you send your transcript to WGU and then they tell you which of your classes transfer in and count as credits for the degree. So you don't have to do those classes. So once I got that review result back, I created a database of all the classes that you need for the accounting degree, and then all the ones that I had credit for already, I just marked it in the spreadsheet. And then I looked at what was left, all the classes I still had to take. I looked at first how many there were, so the total number, and then I looked at how many weeks were in a 6-month term and then compared it. And for me, I had more classes than weeks in the 6 months term. So that meant if I wanted to finish in one term, I had to do more than one class a week. So since I saw like, okay, I need to finish more than a class a week to finish in one term. So how many classes do I need to finish each week to finish in 6 months? I use a calculator. That answer will tell you about how many classes you need to finish each week. Then the next thing I would do is like look at what the classes are. You want to assign more time to the accounting specific classes because those do take more time, more content to learn. And then the non-accounting specific classes, those you can finish a lot quicker because I don't want to say it's common sense because some people do not know how to treat other humans as humans. A lot of those are, if you know how to treat humans like humans, it's pretty common sense classes, interesting information, but you don't need to spend a ton of time on it. So those you can finish quicker. So I accelerated the non-accounting specific classes because I knew I could get those done quicker. And that left me more time for the accounting specific classes. So for the weeks I had an accounting specific class, I planned to only focus on that class that week. Sometimes it was easy and I could do two that week. And I just viewed those as a bonus. Like, oh, yes, that gives me extra time so that if a later class takes more time, then I'm not going to fall behind. So I'm going to repeat again. So first, figure out how many classes you need to finish for the degree. Second, figure out how many classes you need to do each week to finish in one term. Third, figure out your study schedule, how much time you want to dedicate each week to studying. That helps you know if it's possible to finish that many classes a week or not. Fourth, as you're studying each week, you can adjust your plan. If you're going faster one week, do more classes that week. If one week you're busier or the class is harder, then just understand that maybe you'll do less that week and you could possibly catch up later. What helped me was having a visual of how many classes I had left. And again, I just created a database in Notion. It's like a spreadsheet. And that helps you see how much you have left to study, how much time you have left before the end of the term, and if you could take a week and go slower because you know you have extra time. I ended up finishing like 3 weeks ahead of the term. So I actually did like 5 months instead of the full 6 months. And that was really helpful because toward the end, the classes were harder. I needed more time to focus on them. But since I could see my spreadsheet, like I could stop and take the time. I could slow down a bit and still finish ahead of time. So that visual was really helpful to help me like adjust as I went. Hopefully editing me can add some like visual to this so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this is the Notion database I created to track my courses for the WGU accounting degree. These are all the courses I transferred in from my associate's degree. The total was 10. Go to the other tab, 30 classes I did not transfer in. 30 classes divided by 24 weeks. So 1.25. So round up. So that's 2 classes a week. So I had to do a minimum of 2 classes a week to finish right on time in 6 months. On this list of classes, I had an estimated start date and estimated end date. These early ones, the estimated starts and ending. When I first started off, I guess I didn't know how long it would take me to finish. Actually, this is a good example. So I planned to do intermediate accounting in November, but then I actually did it in September, so 2 months ahead of schedule. And that's only because earlier on, I finished a lot quicker than expected. You can see for the first class, I started on the 1st. I finished it on the 7th. The next class, I started on the 7th, finished on the 8th. So you can see I finished almost the first, 6 classes in June. So I got a really good start in June. So that put me a month ahead of schedule already. And then in July, I finished another 7 classes done in July. And see, like I plan to finish these in August. So that was a month ahead of schedule. And then in August, I finished 6 classes, which put me 2 months ahead of schedule because I plan to finish intermediate accounting 1 in October. And then in September, 5 classes in September. And then by the time I got to October, I realized like, oh, I can definitely finish in one term. Then in October, I finished my last 6 classes. And that's how I ended up finishing like right at the beginning of November, which was really nice because we actually went to Japan a couple weeks after that. So it was almost like my graduation present to go to Japan. So that was really cool. I showed you how I planned out how many classes to do each week to finish in one term. But now let me show you how I broke down each class, because how did I know what to finish in each class each week? So I'm opening up the page in my database, and this is why I like Notion, because let me go back. Each of these rows is its own page. Okay, so I had notes inside the page. Inside the page, I had linked the database view of all my tasks that I did for each course. So let me just show the checked ones. So what I did was I looked in the course, saw how many pieces were in the course. So how many chapters did I need to read? How many sections were there to get through? And then I just listed every single section as a task in my task database. And then once I saw how much there was to do, then same idea, I broke it down like, okay, if I'm going to study Saturday and Sunday this week, how much do I need to read to be ready to take the test by Sunday or the next day, Monday? And so for this, I saw that there was 6 parts. And then to take the practice test, so take PA. So that means there was 7 things I needed to finish on the weekend, so on Saturday and Sunday. In this case, it looks like I finished all of the reading in one day because it didn't take that long. And then I took the practice. So I gave myself due dates. Like, I will finish reading all of these sections by this day. And then by this day, I'll do the test. And then I'll do the practice test. And then once I pass the practice test, then I will schedule the final test. I got better about breaking down my task later. So let's go to intermediate accounting. I got a lot more granular about breaking down what I was going to do. So there were 7 modules. This is when I started studying during the week because there was just so much to get through. But first, I listed out all the sections to get through. Or let me sort this by due date. First, list out everything I needed to do. Then I assigned due dates for everything I needed to do. And then once I assigned all the due dates, then I looked at the last due date to see, does this land on the date I want to be done with this whole course? And if it didn't, then I had to go back and adjust the due dates to maybe do more reading on one day than I originally planned to do. Then just stick to the schedule throughout the week, and I still allow for adjustments. So you can see I started this course on the 1st, September 1st. I read module 1 on the 3rd, module 2 on the 4th, module 3 on the 5th, module 4 on the 5th, and then module 5 on the 6th. And then on September 7th, I finished up my last 2 modules. I did the practice. I watched the intensive reviews because I realized I needed more practice. I scheduled the final test that day. And then on the next day, on the September 8th, I took the practice test. So yeah, that's kind of how I broke it down. So first, zoom out, like, of all the courses I need to take, how many I need to do each week. Then plan out each week, then zoom in for each course of all the things I need to do to finish this course, what I need to do to finish this course by the planned due date. Writing it out this way helped me to visualize my plan, so it was easier to adjust along the way. So yeah, that's how I finished my accounting degree in one term, really in 5 months, so less than one term. And that's how I'm going to approach future degrees or future studying plans. So like studying for the EA, if I do the accounting master's degree or CPA, that's what I would do. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Thanks for watching.